got baby face, me big boss man. Me like America, me got good plan. Mexico water, make Gulf US survey. Me make Zelensky say thanks to my face. Me got baby face, me got big chair. Trump bad, Trump good, me no care. Me write big book, kill billies and stuff. Now me important, we're tired tough. Me go Yale school, me learn big word. Now me forget everything me heard. Silicon people give me job, me take. Now me like Trump, me make no mistake. Yo, it's JD Advance. Me fight walk folk, me say never die. Me protect kids, me born liberate. Him, them, there. America simple, only two gender. Me face, me big boss man. Me like America, me got good plan. Mexico water, make Gulf US survey. Me make Zelensky say thanks to my face. Too many gender for my agenda. Went on a bender, execo the sender. Might take Panama just like na. Might take Gaza, pop then a plaza. With this one majesty.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome into CobraCast 199, round 2 for the day. Hope you're all doing well. Hillary Clinton is very, very mad. She's very mad, and she is going to be targeting people. I don't know who, but she's pissed. And I would like to say, for the record, I have always been a big fan of yours, Hillary. I think you are the greatest, first lady. You're the greatest Secretary of State. You are like such a evil, wonderful person, and I think you are a angel. And I just think that, man, no one should ever say anything bad about you at all, because you're just a wonderful person. So, if it sounded like I was going to say evil or demon, I was not going to say that. I would never, ever say that about Hillary Clinton. I would never call her a demon or anything like that. I would never play a clip of Alex Jones saying this.
What all the ancients said, it's what they warned of, it's what we're dealing with. They're demons. They're frickin' interdimensional invaders, okay? I'll just say it. Make fun of me all you want on CNN or wherever, but everyone already innately knows this. These people are not frickin' humans, okay? Hillary Clinton is a goddamn demon. Excuse me, taking the word. It's not taking it in vain. She is a demon damned to hell.
So Hillary Clinton, after her deposition, she took to the stage. And she had some things to say today, and we're going to cover that. So here it is right here. Hillary Clinton, after a very interesting day, she had a statement that she was going to make, and here it is.
Based on what I knew, and what I knew is what I said in my statement this morning. I never met Jeffrey Epstein, never had any connection or communication with him. I knew Ghislaine Maxwell casually as an
casually. She just knew her casually, guys. There's no connection whatsoever. Just casually. It's just, not a big deal. Sure. Okay. We believe you, Hillary. We believe you.
Acquaintance. But whatever they asked me, I did my very best to respond. It was disappointing that they refused to hold a public hearing, so I wouldn't have to be out here characterizing it for you. You could have seen it for yourself. We had asked for that. We think it would have been better for the committee and its efforts to gather whatever information they are seeking. We had a bit of a challenge in the beginning because we had agreed upon rules based on the fact it was going to be a closed hearing at their demand. And one of the members violated that rule, which was very upsetting because it suggested that they might violate other of our agreements. So we had to cease the hearing for.
To be clear, one more time, just in case you're just tuning in.
Hillary Clinton is a goddamn demon. Excuse me, taking the word. It's not taking it in vain. She is a demon damned to hell.
Okay, just wanted to clear that up for everybody. Okay.
Period of time until we could get assurances that no rules would be broken going forward. And we returned to answer questions repetitively, literally over and over again. I don't know how many times I had to say I did not know Jeffrey Epstein. I never went to his island. I never went to his homes. I never went to his offices. So it's on the record numerous times. It then got, at the end, quite unusual because I started being asked about UFOs and a series of questions about Pizzagate, one of the most vile, bogus conspiracy theories.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Just very vile and bogus. By the way, Mar Millen sent a pre-stream chat grift tax. Thank you, Mar Millen. I had to call him out earlier. That's okay. Thank you, Mar Millen. Kate says, pregame is a bit quiet. Sabaton? Maybe we end with Sabaton. Tonight. Bill Herb says, pre-stream taxation for the working man. Thank you. Dark Red Knight says, tagged you in something you may like. Noted. Thank you. Taker says, can't remember if I saw the clip on CobraCast or elsewhere, but it's Trump holding Barron as a baby, and he says, I hope he's smart. I can't remember if that one was me or not. I'm not sure. Vlad says, yo, Gavin Newscomb here. Yeah, hear ye. I'm like ye. You mean yay? Is that what you're saying? Yay or ye? Bill Herb says, we're about to get Transformers X DC. Let's go. Seriously, though, I hope Paramount WB is good. We'll talk about that here in just a bit.
That was propagated on the internet.
That
was serving as the basis of a
on
member's questions to me. So I can only say that the best exchange that I had came at the very end, when, contrary to every other.
Now, these are the rules. I don't make up the rules, but whenever we are talking about Hillary Clinton, we have to play the clip. These are the rules. I don't make the rules up. I have to follow the rules. I have no control over my own show. So just so we're clear, we have to play the clip.
I don't know who created Pokemon Go, but I'm trying to figure out how we get them to have Pokemon go to the polls.
Every single time it gets worse. It never gets better. But speaking of Pokemon, Beardo and Krista will be covering Pokemon Presents tomorrow on Geeks and Gamers Play. That's right. So you got to tune in for that tomorrow morning.
Their deposition they have taken, no Republican member asked any questions about Jeffrey Epstein or Ghislaine Maxwell to anyone else they have deposed. And in fact, the Republican members didn't even show up for the deposition of Les Wexner. And when I said that,
we got to put this on 2x speed, man. She talks way too slow.
The only questions that any Republican member
1.5. This is terrible.
Of any of the people they deposed was of former Attorney General Bill Barr, when Chairman Comer asked him about the allegations, in his view, about Russia's involvement in my election in 2016. So at the very end of this hearing, after I made that point, I want to commend Chairman Comer for raising a series of significant questions that I responded to about the nature of the investigation and the areas that I thought should be explored. So I appreciated that. I want to see the truth come out. So that was a reassuring way to end a very long.
Again, let's be clear. We are looking at one of the most evil people on the planet. All right. This is an evil person that would have been president of the United States of America if it was not for Trump. Never forget that.
Long, repetitive deposition.
Madam Secretary, you spoke in your opening remarks about how heartbroken you have been for the Epstein survivors as these files have come out. Can you talk to us a little bit about how you have processed and reacted to?
Okay, we got to back this up because the reporters are talking normal and then they go very fast at 1.5 speed. So let's go back to normal so we can hear these questions.
Long, repetitive deposition.
Madam Secretary, you spoke in your opening remarks about how heartbroken you have been for the Epstein survivors as these files have come out. Can you talk to us a little bit about how you have processed and reacted to the fact that the former president, your husband, Bill Clinton, is referenced in the Epstein files numerous times, including photos featuring women? And how have you been personally preparing for the deposition that is coming tomorrow? And are you 100% confident that there isn't anything that the former president knows about Epstein's crimes?
I am, and I think the chronology of the connection that he had with Epstein ended several years before anything about Epstein's criminal activities came to light, and that he was charged and sadly given a sweetheart deal, which, as I said in my statement, had that not happened, perhaps his predatory behavior could have been stopped earlier. But I think it is fair to say that the vast majority of people who had contact with him before his criminal pleas in 2008 were like most people. They did not know what he was doing. And I think that that is exactly what my husband will testify to tomorrow.
Madam Secretary, do you believe this was a fair hearing? And do you still want to testify publicly, even though?
Just to be clear, Hillary Clinton is very, very upset at the victims. The victims. She's very concerned about that. Except Hillary Clinton used to attack and shame the women who had accused Bill Clinton of SA. That's interesting. She's really concerned about it now, though.
What role, if any, did you play in criticizing the character of the women who have accused Bill of sexual misconduct?
None. If somebody's willing to pay you $130,000 or $170,000 to say something, and you get your 15 minutes of fame, and you get your picture on the front page of every newspaper, and you're some failed cabaret singer who doesn't even have much of a resume to fall back on, and what's there she's lied about. You know, that's the daughter of Willie Horton, as far as I'm concerned.
What?
Man, she seems very sympathetic to victims. I'm so glad Hillary cares about victims now.
Well, I'm not going to do it again. You know, they had a chance to do it in public, and I wish they had done it in public. And I think they're making the wrong decision, avoiding doing it in public. I thought it was very repetitive. I thought that they asked literally the same questions over and over again, which didn't seem to me to be very productive. And then, as I said, toward the end, you know, there were other questions that were totally off subject. So if they are going to fulfill their responsibilities to literally investigate.
Hillary stumbled more today than when she was tossed in that van. That was a crazy, crazy video back during the 2016 campaign where Hillary Clinton, yeah, I mean, she looked like she was gone. Like, I don't know what happened there. See if I can pull that up. That was a crazy one. Let's see here. Here we go right here. So like it's not even like, I don't even think it's her. I have no idea. Like maybe that's the real Hillary and this was a fake one. I don't know. That is wild right there. Let me see if we get a close-up version. Let's see here. What is this? So you see right there, you see how she's... That is crazy, man. What an odd scenario. Anyway, so there's a different angle. Is there a different view of that? I've never seen the different view. Let me see if... I don't think I have. Is this it? No, the only one I see, there's a different video right here. So they played this one, but then there's another video of her getting into another van. But that I've never seen. I don't think I've seen the other angle. So
The investigations, which is what they originally said was the scope of their work. I think they could have spent the day more productively.
Madam Secretary, James Matthews from Sky News. Can I ask, why was Ghislaine Maxwell invited to the daughter of Chelsea Clinton's wedding in 2000?
Here's the question right here. Why was she at Chelsea Clinton's wedding? All right. This is all right. Here we go. Let's back this up. Here we go.
Ghislaine Maxwell invited to the daughter of Chelsea Clinton's wedding in 2010. She'd already been mentioned in a civil lawsuit by Virginia Giuffre before that. Jeffrey Epstein had already been convicted before that.
She came as the +1, the guest of someone who was invited.
Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it.
What? This is a former president and a former first lady, Secretary of State. You got the daughter of a former president, and you're just telling me people can just show up as +1s without any investigation or anything like that? And you think we're going to believe that? Holy crap. That is a very prepared answer.
She came as the +1, the guest of someone who was invited.
Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it.
Thank you all.
She sure enough ran as soon as that question came up, because she knew that a follow-up question was going to happen, and she did not want to answer a follow-up question at all. She did not want to. Holy crap. All right, here we got Jesse Waters covering it.
That rule, which was
Hillary made a fuss to chew up clock because she didn't want to be there. She testified that she never met Epstein, even though he'd been to the White House 16 times. It was supposed to be a co-presidency, remember? A 2-for-1 deal. Hillary moved her office into the West Wing, but Hillary doesn't remember.
The number of times that she said, "I don't know, you'll have to ask my husband," was more than a dozen, and I'll put it like that.
Maybe they didn't meet, maybe they did, but Bill does a lot of things when Hillary's not looking. But this
Remember the Trump tweet? Hang on. See if I can find it. If it still exists. I know I can find it. Kate over on Rumble. Thank you, Kate. There was a tweet that essentially was like, Bill chose other women and so should you, America, or something to that effect. And I got to find it. It was a retweet. I'm looking for it now, but I can't find it. But yeah, it was like, the tweet was like, this is during the lead up to 2016. And like somebody says, Bill chose other women and so should you, America, or something to that effect, you know, and Trump just like retweeted it because he's always been this savage. But I can't find it right now. If somebody can find that. Oh, here it is right here. Here it is right here. Here it is. I just found it. Okay. If Hillary Clinton can't satisfy her husband, what makes you think she can satisfy America? Holy shit. Trump is undefeated. You will never, ever find another president like this. All right. Oh, shit. So good. So good. All right. Let's go back to this.
But was more than a dozen, and I'll put it like that.
Maybe they didn't meet, maybe they did, but Bill does a lot of things when Hillary's not looking. But this email's interesting. In the Epstein files, someone emailed the sex offender, quote, "I know you are close with Hillary, but if she gets the nomination and you vote for her, I'll effing kill you." Did Hillary meet Epstein? Maybe, maybe not. But we do know this.
I knew Ghislaine Maxwell casually as an acquaintance, but whatever they asked me, I did my very best to respond.
Epstein's accomplice, Ghislaine, went to Chelsea Clinton's wedding. When she was asked about this, she ran like the wind.
Can I ask, why was Ghislaine Maxwell invited to the daughter Chelsea Clinton's wedding in 2010? She'd already been mentioned in a civil lawsuit by Virginia Giuffre before that. Jeffrey Epstein had already been convicted.
She came as the +1, the guest of someone who was invited.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you all.
Okay, so I want to be, you guys know I try to be as fair as I possibly can, regardless of what we're covering, who we're talking about. Sometimes people get mad at me for that. So one thing we have to establish is that regardless of how much we may not like the Clintons, okay, fair is fair. And one thing we know is that the Clintons, specifically Bill, but both of them, have always been very, very honest. Here's Bill Clinton.
I want you to listen to me. I'm going to say this again. I did not have sexual relations with that woman, Miss Lewinsky.
Fair is fair. They've never lied. They've always been super honest. They've never lied. So I don't know why you think they would lie now when they've never lied before. All right? Very, very honest people.
You don't know who did spend a lot of time with Epstein? Bill Clinton. There's dozens of photos in the files. Here's Bubba and a girl in a hot tub. Hillary says her hubby was just saving lives.
It wasn't a hot tub on a plane. It was one of the stops they made to look at philanthropic and charitable work that my husband has done, saving literally millions of lives.
Oh, God. Seriously, does anybody really believe this? Like, who are you? Who are you if you believe this?
Around the world. It turned out that was done long before there was any public awareness and certainly any conviction of any crime by Jeffrey Epstein. So it was a short period of time that was in pursuit of charitable philanthropic work.
Charitable work. That's a new name for it. Here's Bill doing more charity. We all know how much Bill loves to give back. The former president will have his chance to set the record straight tomorrow when he goes under oath, but we all know how he got the name Slick Willie.
Is that correct? Yeah, it depends upon what the meaning of the word is. Yes.
Hillary says she's not worried. Bill would never do something inappropriate.
Are you 100% confident that there isn't anything that the former president knows about Epstein's crimes?
I am, and I think the chronology of the connection that he had with Epstein ended several years before anything about Epstein's criminal activities came to light.
Yeah, I'm sure he was a really good guy up to that point. I'm sure that's what it was. So Bill and Epstein were just traveling around, saving the world, saving lives, and just, working together to make the world a better place. That's just what was going on, guys. It was just that's what was happening. Okay.
If anybody thinks this is some partisan witch hunt, or as the Clintons call it, a vast right-wing conspiracy, you're wrong.
I think one thing that surprised the Clintons, they assumed the Democrats on the committee would vote in a partisan manner and not vote to hold the Clintons in contempt. And what they learned was a majority of the Democrats on the committee either voted to hold the Clintons in contempt or voted present.
The Epstein fallout has Clinton and Obama operatives dropping like flies. Yesterday, Larry Summers had to resign from his position at Harvard. And now it's come out that not only did the Ivy League take $9 million from the perv, they gave him his own office. And Harvard faculty was accepting free flights and business deals from the sex trafficker. Epstein was giving Larry Summers consulting gigs in places like Mongolia and Kazakhstan. Like we've been saying, it's going global. The head of the World Economic Forum, you know, the guys who tell us to eat insects, Borge Brende, suddenly resigned because of the Epstein files. One of the Rothschilds, you know, the European banking dynasty, all over the Epstein files. And the Swiss bankers, all they're saying so far is they're monitoring the situation.
Monitoring the situation.
JB Pritzker's cousin, Thomas, just resigned from the board of Hyatt Hotels. JB's like, I only see my cousin on holidays.
A cousin of yours has been in the news with regards to the Epstein files, Thomas Pritzker. He just recently resigned from the board of the Hyatt company.
Look, I've said from the beginning that anyone that's done something wrong needs to be held accountable. And I really mean anyone. I'm not close to my cousin, but I can tell you that it's very important that people be held to pay the price for whatever it is that they may have done.
There are millions of documents in the Epstein files, and we're just starting to go through them. Everyone's on edge.
It's not about like, so, I mean, I'm from Alabama. My entire family's fucked up, but it's not about the fact that you have someone related to you. It's that we know that if Trump had even a distant family member that was directly tied into this, we know how the Democrats would use that. We know exactly what the Democrats would do in that situation. That's the problem, is that they virtue signal so much and project so much. And then when it's on them, all of a sudden they're like, oh, it's not, it's not even a big deal. Pieces of shit.
Even Epstein's own brother.
I didn't see him for 7 years before he died, although we were always in communication with phones and emails. So I didn't know what he was up to. A lot of the stuff that's come out is surprising to me. I wasn't aware of a lot of this stuff. And I'm going to say, like, with him, even though he's my brother, that was his problem. And now that he's dead, it's not his problem anymore. So again, unfortunately, I really don't care, to be honest with you. I'm just concerned that my brother, whoever and whatever he was murdered. That's my concern.
But you care about the victims, I presume, of your brother.
These are the questions I don't get into. So have a good day.
The Telegraph also reports that Epstein paid private detectives to remove items from his Florida property ahead of a police raid. They hid it in a secret storage locker, which contained 3 computers, videotapes, sex slave manuals, and illicit photographs. A Palm Beach lockup contained 29 address books, a 3-page list of masseuses, and tons of porn. The Palm Beach police chief said Epstein's home had been cleaned up and certain computer material was missing, including surveillance equipment. We also found out last night that the DOJ had labeled Epstein's suicide as a murder in some documents. There were also questions about the noose.
The forensic pathologist who was hired by Jeffrey Epstein's.
I just want to make sure that if Bubba Wallace is watching this, I just want to apologize for the use of the word noose. Please don't call the FBI and have everything investigated. I know that you get really triggered over that, and I just want to let him, and we don't need to have like 25 FBI agents come to Talladega, Alabama again so we can investigate a garage door pull. We don't need to do that, Bubba Smollett, okay? You piece of shit.
His brother, to observe the autopsy, said that there was no blood on the noose, even though there's blood on Jeffrey Epstein's neck in the photographs. We're learning from the documents that the guard who cut Jeffrey Epstein down
says he's not sure which noose was given to the investigators, and DNA testing was done. It may have been on the wrong ligature. It may have been done on the wrong noose.
Plus, there was something off about the head count in the prison that night. A new video shows a strange orange figure flashing by the corner of a surveillance camera the night before Epstein died.
There's been scrutiny of a particular moment on the cell block surveillance footage where an orange-looking flash could be seen at 10:30.
This is so funny. I love this shit so much.
39 p.m. A report from the Justice Department Inspector General notes the flash, quote, "It is possible someone is carrying inmate linen or bedding up the stairs." And the final report refers to it as, quote, "an unidentified corrections officer." But now, newly released Justice Department documents reveal an initial FBI review of surveillance video on the cell block says the flash could possibly be an inmate. And independent video analysts consulted by CBS News say the movement was more consistent with an inmate.
This is really getting mysterious. And I'm sure Bill Clinton will clear everything up tomorrow.
He's going to clear it all up. Bill Clinton's going to take care of all the issues we have, all of the concerns. Now, obviously, today we had the situation with Lauren Boebert sending a picture of Hillary Clinton during the deposition to Benny Johnson, and that created a big firestorm. And again, man, self-awareness and the way that you respond to things is gold. So at the time, I said, I don't really know what the point of this was, what the benefit of this was. I'm not sure how this was helpful. But ultimately, her response was perfect.
I really admired her blue suit, so I wanted to capture that for everyone.
Why did you send the picture? Why did you send the picture?
Why not?
Why did you send the picture? Why not? So damn good. All right. So, like, this is it. Don't care. Don't care if you're offended. Don't care if it offends you. Don't care. That is freaking perfect. All right. So that's the way you handle it.
Blue suit, so I wanted to capture that for everyone.
Why did you send the picture? Why did you send the picture?
Why not?
All right. That is a perfect answer. Very, very happy with that one. Tomorrow's going to be very interesting with, Big Willie style showing up. Slick Willie, he'll be in the house. But we do have this right here. Anna Paulina Luna talking about today's Hillary Clinton deposition. Here we go.
Look, I am a candidate. I've been a candidate for office. I'm an elected official. And when you have top tier donors, of which the Epstein, Maxwell entire apparatus was, you know the names of your donors and individuals. And I do find it hard to believe that she didn't know of the relationship between the two. Obviously, you had said that, and there is White House logs that Epstein attended the White House many times. There was also 2 reports of Ghislaine Maxwell kind of in and out of the same circles. And so, I think the question is whether or not they were being targeted, but also too, remember, when you hear the Clintons specifically say, oh, well, Bill Clinton cut all ties with Jeffrey Epstein before the actual charges were brought forward. Well, remember, President Trump has said the same thing. And yet the way that the DNC, the way that the Democrats are trying to use this is to smear the president. And I actually brought this up in the press gaggle today, in that we've asked the victims specifically on whether or not President Trump had hurt them. And he was exonerated. He released the files, and they don't want to report that. What they want to try to do is take this and have us say on record whether or not we will subpoena the president to come testify, in which I respond, the president is not considered a person of interest in this investigation.
He is to them. This is their obsession. Their obsession is Trump. This is all they care about is Trump, 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 Trump. They don't care about Hillary. They don't care about Bill. They don't care about the victims. They don't care about Epstein. They don't care about anyone. They only want Trump.
He's been nothing but cooperative, at least with us and members of the task force. And I think that his record will reflect that he has released all files. It was also interesting to note that we inquired on how many files did President Biden release. The answer is 0.
0, because why would Biden release anything? No one was talking about the Epstein situation when Joe Biden was in office. But magically, just like Black Lives Matter, as soon as the political landscape changes, suddenly everybody cares about this thing that's getting so much traction all of a sudden. So that's where we are. Benny Johnson says, we are witnessing the fall of Jeffrey Epstein's network of global elites, and it's just beginning since the release of the Epstein files. Prince Andrew, and you just see the list of people that have been, caught up in all of this. And we'll see. But no one actually cares about any of this. They only care about Trump, Trump, Trump. That's the only thing they care about. Okay, so next up, and by the way, before we get to the next topic, rip a send if you are looking for the MegaCon t-shirt or the CobraCast hoodie, the one I'm wearing. Rip a send. It's going to be a very, very quick turnaround on these orders. So if you're interested, go over there. It's in the pinned post right now. You can go check those out. I'd love to see you guys. Even if you're not going to MegaCon, you can get the CobraCast hoodie or you can get the MegaCon shirt. Once these are gone, they're gone. No more bringing them back. We'll bring them, the hoodies back in different styles and things like that. But this is my favorite design that we have, that CobraCast logo, the one I'm wearing every day. So make sure you go over there and check that out if you're interested. And let me read a few super chats, and we got another topic to talk about. Mar Millen says, blame notifications. They never let me know when you're going live. You see Target paid $110 million to leave Minneapolis after all the liberal tards kept protesting in their stores. Well, I know they were shutting down. Thank you, Marmillan. I know they were shutting down. They shut down one store in Minneapolis. I don't know how many were in the area, but this is a common thing that happens. You never hear of stores shutting down because of crime in red areas. Interesting, huh? Interesting. You never hear about crime shutting down, or I'm sorry, stores shutting down due to crime in red areas. It's almost like it's all a blue area problem. And this is the same song and dance every time. So I just don't feel sorry for the people that continue to accept that garbage in their area. Dougie B for 20 says, I had no idea using, hot tons saves lives. I'm calling the White House to ask where my Medal of Honor is. Comer's my congressman. Love that guy. Hot what? What are you talking about, Doug B? Am I missing something here? This was earlier, so I don't remember what we were talking about. So I'm confused now. They'll say red states, but not what's part of it. Hot tubs. Oh, hot tubs. Tubs. Okay. Got it. All right. My bad, Dougie B. My bad. Unlike Beardo, I tried to read what you meant to say, not what you're actually saying. So I do get it now. I get it. Thank you. No. No apologies. No apologies. I'm sorry for being retarded. Thank you, brother. Nandy for 50 says, Orange Man looks like Don wasn't playing. The Orange Man showing up to take care of business. Greg Kirby says, Jeremy can't read. I was going to think of something witty to say, but you're right. Thank you, Nandy, as always. Dougie B for 20 says, I'm ashamed to be originally from Illinois because of Pritzker, a.k.a. Fred Flintstone. And I think he's going to try to run. I do think he's going to try to run. And the Democrats do like him. So it'll be interesting to watch the Chris Christie means will just be rehashed for Pritzker. That's essentially what we'll have at that point. So Justin for 10 says, we all realize that nothing will ever happen and no one will ever go to jail, right? I just disagree with that. I mean, the bottom line is Jeffrey Epstein went to jail and Maxwell went to jail. Like, that happened. And no one acknowledges that actually happened. All the people that are upset that say nothing's ever going to happen, Jeffrey Epstein went to jail and Maxwell went to jail. That happened. So people never acknowledge that. I don't understand why they never acknowledge that. And it happened when Trump was president. If Hillary Clinton would have won that, do you know what? Do you think Jeffrey Epstein would have ever been arrested? Do you? Do you believe that? Because I don't. I don't believe Epstein would have. I don't believe we would be talking about him at all if Hillary Clinton wins that election. Bottom line. Cooper says, I love it when Sam Walton embarrassed Clinton's when he picked up Bill off the Gulf Ford truck with a couple of bird dog cages in the back. He knew they were trash. Hail to you, Coopster. Gerald Armstrong says, shut down Harvard. All this horror businesses. I can't stand how they treat Hillary like American royalty. She's a mafia don and worshiping sicko. Yeah, I mean, the one thing that used to aggravate me, and I never understood this, but they used to, and I guess this hasn't happened in a long time, but what's the fucking band name now? They're one of the most famous bands of all time. U2 and Bono. Like, I don't understand why every time Bono would travel somewhere, they would treat Bono like he's this famous world leader. They would roll out the red carpet. They would treat him like this is like, and I'm like, why? Like, U2 sucks. They got a couple of decent songs, I guess. But like, do you remember that? Like, everywhere Bono would go, they would be like, Bono. And they just like act like he was royalty. And I'm like, he sucks. Band sucks. It's crap. But for some reason, that's how they treated him. So, but I was never a fan of the band. Gerald Armstrong says, fantastic senator too. Nips Litters has heard of this man's recent 100-mile-an-hour car crash. Yeah, so a lot of people are covering it as the video was released, but that car crash happened like 6 months ago or something like that. So I don't know. But yeah, I mean, I know the video was released and the video's not good, but yeah, that thing happened like 6 months ago, but everybody thinks it just happened, but it actually happened like, I don't know, it might have been more than 6 months. I'm not sure. But we do have to talk about this big story right here that does tie into the world of politics, ladies and gentlemen. And that is Netflix backs out of the fight for Warner Brothers. That's right. Netflix has backed out. So the word was Netflix was going to purchase Warner Brothers, and Paramount Skydance has been involved as well. President Trump has gotten involved in this, and it's been a pretty big story. So now we have this right here.
Breaking in just the past couple of minutes, Netflix is declining to raise its offer to buy Warner Brothers Discovery Studios and streaming business. The move effectively puts Paramount in a position to take over the storied Hollywood giant. Today, Warner Brothers board announced that Skydance owned Paramount's offer is superior to the agreement it had previously struck with Netflix. Now, Netflix says the price that would be required to buy Warner makes the deal no longer financially attractive.
Hey, Sean Hannity. Now, I think that this is not over. I don't think this is over completely. But right here, Netflix has officially waved the white flag in the battle for Warner Brothers Discovery in a major shakeup for the Paramount Warner Brothers war that has been raging for months. The streaming giant confirmed it's walking away from the bidding war rather than matching the increasingly expensive Skydance back to offer. The decision effectively clears the runway for Paramount Skydance, which now appears firmly in the driver's seat to land Warner Brothers Discovery. In a joint statement, Netflix co-CEOs made the company's position unmistakably clear. The transaction we negotiated would have created a shareholder value with blah, 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 blah. Netflix backs away from the bidding war. Translation, the price got too rich. Netflix had, so my thing on it is I think Netflix is still negotiating personally. I think that they are still negotiating, but I think that they're using this as a negotiation tactic. However, that's just a theory of mine. Also, Trump has made it clear where he stands on it. Trump wants Paramount to get this. Now, we've talked about this a lot over on Friday Night Tights and on Geeks and Gamers. I think the fact that Warner Brothers is for sale is a loss just in general. I just don't think it helps at all. I would rather Warner Brothers not be for sale. I would rather, Warner Brothers continue on, but it is what it is. We are where we are on it. And now we'll see if this actually does go through to Paramount. But there's more to it than just this. And this thing's going to take forever. All right. It's going to take forever for this to go through because it's such a huge deal right now. And I saw this one right here. It's genuinely just completely over. The far right will own all of the media space and use it explicitly for their propaganda for the next century. I don't know who this account is, but I love this take. 30,000 likes on this tweet. If in fact that is what happens, I will be very, very happy about that. Because ultimately you get what you fucking deserve. This is what has happened. All right. Now, let me be clear, be very clear. I don't want far right-wing propaganda. I don't want that. I just want good entertainment, and I want no politics in it at all. That's my stance on it. In a perfect world, I would just like to watch movies and watch TV shows and play video games with just no agendas in it at all. Just tell me good stories and leave the bullshit out of it, regardless, all right, of whatever your stance is. However, if you're going to make me choose between left-wing propaganda and right-wing propaganda, I'll take right-wing propaganda all fucking day long and twice on Sunday. And so will the majority of people out there. I didn't ask to make that choice, but the left decided to ruin every single element of our entertainment. So because you decided to ruin every single element of our entertainment with gay, transgender, woke bullshit, identity politics, representation, and all of that, fuck it. I don't want it. Most people don't want it. And that's why everything that has intertwined that into it has failed and failed miserably. So you get what you deserve. If you're upset about right-wing, far right-wing takeover, well, then that's not my problem. Okay. Now, Trump said this about Netflix. Netflix should fire racist, Trump deranged Susan Rice immediately or pay the consequences. She's got no talent or skills, purely a political hack. Her power is gone and will never be back. How much is she being paid and for what? Thank you for your attention to this matter. So there you see Trump definitely, letting everybody know where he stands on Netflix and their executives right there. So, yeah, it'll be interesting. Now, what ultimately happens from here, I don't know. I know Valiant Renegade and those guys have been covering it. I'm going to be looking forward to seeing what their updates, are on it, because they kind of understand it from that perspective a lot more. So we see basically now Trump's buddies own all media. They influenced the UFC Paramount deal and now helped get Paramount WB. We live in a bizarre time when the government basically owns the media. Where have you been, bro? Oh my God, these people do not acknowledge reality. They live in their fucking bubble. And they pretend all the stuff with people like me, people like Gary, people like Drinker, people like Ryan, everybody in this sphere have all been saying, we don't want right-wing propaganda. We don't want left-wing propaganda. We want you guys to leave the bullshit out of it. Now, with that said, it doesn't mean you can't have your agenda-driven stuff here or there. The problem is that Hollywood has decided the only agenda that we're going to have is left-wing agenda. They don't allow right-wing agendas into their shit. They don't allow any of it. And that's not what people want. People want good entertainment. And if you have your specifically focused things that are going to push a narrative or an agenda, so be it. Let the market decide. But the fact is Hollywood's decided no right-wing narratives are going to be put into this stuff, but we're going to push left-wing bullshit. We're sick of it. We're sick of it. And this clown thinks it's bizarre that suddenly the government owns the media. Get the fuck out of here, man. Unbelievable. So anyway, this will be a big story for sure. We're probably going to cover it on FNT. I'm going to have videos over on Geeks and Gamers as well talking about it. So, and to put it in more perspective, because I just uploaded a video to the main Geeks and Gamers channel covering this thing right here, not the Warner Brothers thing, but I uploaded a video covering this, what I'm about to show you, just to show you how nuts these people are in Hollywood, okay? This just puts it in full perspective right here, okay? Kristen Stewart. Let's hear what Kristen Stewart has to say about immigrants, illegal immigrants.
Immigrants. I can't stand the idea that the dismantling of the culture that did have a hand in like making me who I am, which is so meaningless in the face of people's lives being like completely unearthed, uprooted, destroyed. Like just this is like not who we are. So like where I'm from, I don't identify with that right now. And so like I definitely am dying every day thinking, so do we make movies about this? Do we throw all of our money at it? Do we stop buying burgers in the daytime? What do we do about this? Like I can't. Stop buying burgers in the day. Stop buying burgers in the daytime. What do we do about this? Like I can't.
Oh man. Oh man. Oh man. Yeah, she said that. She said that. Yep. And, okay, got something else to show you, okay? Got something else to show you. Oh, man. He's always right. Just understand, Trump is always right. After Friday's Twilight release, I hope Robert Pattinson will not be seen in public with Kristen. She will cheat on him again. Everybody wants me to talk about Robert Pattinson and not Brian Williams. I guess people just don't care about Brian. Robert Pattinson is putting on a good face on the release of Twilight. He took my advice on Kristen Stewart. I hope. Everyone knows I am right that Robert Pattinson should dump Kristen Stewart in a couple of years. He will thank me. Be smart, Robert. Oh, goodness, dude. So somebody said, I can't believe he commented on this. This is Trump. Oh, man. So many tweets and stories on Stuart Pattinson. Look, it doesn't matter. The relationship will never be the same. It's permanently broken. Oh, man. Here we go.
Do we make movies about this? Do we throw all of our money at it? Do we stop buying burgers in the daytime? What do we do about this? Like I can't fathom that it's happening until it doesn't happen. It's like Los Angeles doesn't exist without all of us.
Trump is always ahead of the curve, okay? Like, again, and this is not AI, what I'm about to show you, all right? Not AI. Because if Trump did not become president, I have it on good authority that he was going to be a YouTube movie reviewer. That's right. YouTube movie reviewer, President Trump. Here we go.
Many people have been asking me to review things, especially movies. So last night, I went to the opening of The Dark Knight Rises, which is commonly known as the Batman movie. And I'll tell you, it was really terrific. But what was really amazing was the fact that the cinematography, what they did was incredible. You couldn't have done it 3 years ago. You couldn't have done it 2 years ago. The technology was amazing. The movie is really worthwhile seeing. And most importantly, Trump Tower, my building, plays a role. But it really is worthwhile. Cinematography, what they did, great.
Oh man. It is real. Like, this is from 6 years ago. This is legitimately real, though. This is not AI. So there you have it. Trump loves The Dark Knight Rises, and The Dark Knight Rises is a phenomenal movie. All right. Simple as that. But yeah, back to this, man. I mean, these Hollywood people are so out of touch. And so if this Netflix deal does take us to a place where what I believe is when they say the far right will own all of the media space and use it for their propaganda, let me translate what that means. What this means is that all the gay shit and the diversity is going to be eliminated from the media space. And the propaganda will be that it's going to focus on normal storytelling with normal people. That's what it means. Now, I'm not saying that's what's going to happen. I'm just telling you that what this comment means right here is that. It just means they're going to get all the gay and the lesbian and the trans stuff out of our entertainment, and they're going to stop pushing the DEI propaganda, and they're going to tell normal stories that people like. That's what this means. Whether it happens or not, I don't know. But anyway, we shall see how this progresses, but it's a big story right now. And like I said, if you want to go over to geeklygamers.com, see all the more information on that. We will continue to keep you updated on all of this as well. So shout out to Marvin and Alex and everybody else involved over on the site. They're doing a great job indeed. Nandy for 50 says, I wanted to give a shout out to Valiant Renegade. He broke it down brilliantly. Highly recommend his 30-minute breakdown he uploaded a few days back on his channel. Bottom line, NFX and PSKY are overpaying for WB. Oh, okay. Paramount, Skydance, and Netflix for WB. And Paramount, Skydance offering all cash deal is better. So that's kind of the gist of it right there. And I do highly recommend going and checking out Valiant Renegade and his breakdown. And I will be watching his video on it so I can kind of get a full understanding of it as well. But yeah, I mean, to me, like if I am forced to choose between Warner Brother, or if I'm forced to choose between Netflix or Paramount, I'd rather it be Paramount because Netflix just has proven over and over again. And now, to be clear, when Netflix took over Cobra Kai, I was very worried about Cobra Kai. Cobra Kai is fantastic. I love it. In the middle seasons, it got a little kind of out there a little bit, but it was never ruined by any ridiculous identity politics. Now, I do think that Cobra Kai got a little stupid with, certain scenes where it's like, you had boys and girls fighting, and the girls would always beat up the guys, and you would never see the guy like retaliate like in a very like aggressive way. And I'm like, look, if you're going to have the girls punching the guys, then you know what I mean? But that's like a minor nitpick. But the later season, like the final season, it ended perfectly. So the first season is perfection, and the final season is perfection. And most of the seasons in the middle are very, very good. Even the second season is really good as well. But yeah, it's just one of my favorite series. I love it so much. Is your beauty filter on? Your skin looks smooth. So smooth and supple. No. Look, I'll turn the fucking all right. So for a proper 199, I'll turn the beauty filter on. Okay. That's the only way I'm doing it. All right. That's the only way I'm doing it. Is CobraCast named after Cobra Kai? No. CobraCast is named because I'm a G.I. Joe fan and a Shelby Cobra fan. So that is why. Thank you, Nandy, for that. I will be checking that out. But yeah, no beauty filter. Look, it's not easy, okay? It's not easy. All right. So Blast Radio says, if the far right takes over good, maybe we'll get some decent entertainment. By the way, it's the Marxist progressives' fault for pushing their woke propaganda so hard. You reap what you sow. It's their fault. Agreed completely. All right. Are we honestly doing this again? What? The beauty filter? Listen, man, I do whatever I can. All right. I'm not some hot chick that I can just get paid millions of dollars to go on OnlyFans. All right. I may just start a beauty filter OnlyFans. All right. I might start a beauty filter OnlyFans. Show up and just have the beauty filter turned on and see how much money I can make. Golden Nuggets is operation soon. Losing part of my lung will make watching you guys hard as laughing will be painful. Sorry for the downer. UK is awful. You know it's bad when you guys I use you guys for counseling. Well, prayers up for you, brother. Prayers up, man. Nandy says like Chris to run the OnlyFans account. That's a good one, Nandy. That's a good one. So the Golden Nuggets, prayers up, brother. Hope everything works out, man. Beauty filter can't work miracles. I mean, we'll see. Let's see. You know what? If we ever finish number one in the world for a month on Super Chats, I will start an OnlyFans beauty filter account. We've never finished number one in the world. Never. I think third or fourth has been the best ever for a month. I don't think we'll ever hit that, by the way. It will never happen. And that's the reason I'm saying that, because it'll never fucking happen. There's no way. Some of these VTubers are making insane money. I can't even comprehend what they make. But I'll put it out there. If we finish number one in the world for any month, the very next day I start a beauty filter OnlyFans account. Bill Herb says, quote, I never met Epstein. My husband was just best friends with him and invited his close partner, Giswell, to my daughter's wedding. Yeah, that's Hillary Clinton for you. Heavy D says, Hillary isn't innocent of SA by any means, but that snatcher of hers hasn't seen action since the Ford administration. She sweeps cobwebs. Hail the 199. Nobody needed to hear that. Nobody. Not one. Jeremy needs to be careful what he promises. There's no way I'm going to finish number one. And I will say, if there's clearly somebody that's because there are a couple of accounts right now. If you go over to the list, let's just look at USA. Some of these people, the numbers are so dumb that I just even in the USA, these numbers are just insane. That some of these accounts, the site's taking forever to pull up, but okay. This guy made $690,000 in a month. Who is this guy? And the videos are deleted. The videos are gone. 17 million views, 69,000 super chats sent. Who is this person? And I don't know who this person is. I wouldn't even count these two. Now, obviously, Tom Grossi, we know him. I don't know who this is, but it's crazy. So anyway, money laundering, it must be, dude, because that doesn't make any sense, dude. 690,000 in a fucking month is just stupid. It's crazy. Where did D-Day Cobra finish? I was 13th, right behind Matt. So, look, and that's, because obviously Matt is crushing it. His channel's huge. Me and Matt, even though Matt has significantly more viewers than me and subscribers, we had literally the same amount of super chats sent, and then he beat me by a couple of grand. That's realistic. 69,000 individuals. Get the hell out of here, man. That's crazy. It doesn't make any sense. There's Andrew Wilson, who's slightly above me and Matt. Makes sense. Max Velocity. He's a great weather channel. Dean fucking Withers. Lolcow Live. The Enforcer's always been up there. This, I don't even know what the hell this is. So anyway, it's just weird. Some of these, there's Kirsha, I Show Speed, Candace, Hassan. Where's G&G at? There's Gary, G&G. So anyway, just some of these numbers just do not make sense at all. Whatever though. Okay. Mandy says, I can fix her. That picture is terrifying. Candace still failing. Candace is crushing it right now to the point where right-wingers are now accusing Candace of using bots. So right here, there's a screenshot. So Candace had like 200,000 people watching her today. It's fucking retarded. And now they're trying to say because people were in her chat and they were spamming her chat, they're accusing her of using bots. And I'm like, do you guys know how YouTube works? Do you know how YouTube works? Like, we all have bots on our accounts. That's just how it is. Every time I upload a video, right here, breaking, Candace Owens exposed for using bot networks to boost her videos. Her entire chat is filled with anonymous users saying free Hassan. The bot networks must have glitched and not know what stream they were on. No, this is literally, she had 200,000 people there. Like, bots are going to show up when you have a huge stream. That's how YouTube works. That's just how it works. Like, the mods will tell you right now. And if you don't have, and I doubt Candace has any mods, so you're just going to get spammed. But I don't think that that's why a lot of people are watching her. I think Candace is like professional wrestling, where you're watching it for the pure entertainment of it. Even if you don't believe half of what's going on, you're like, it's still entertaining. So I think that's why a lot of people are checking her out, in my humble opinion. Burger Tax. Hey. Oh, we got a Chicago Bear fan here. Dougie B. Where you at, Dougie B? Dougie B in the house. Another Bear fan. Bears fans are everywhere. Thank you, Burger Tax. Burgers during the day. Did you see her learning that thunder is different than lightning? No, I didn't see that, Danky. I did not. As Becker says, here's my contribution to give Golden Nuggets a CobraCast sweatshirt fund. God bless the man. What is he asking for one? We can do something. Yeah, man. Golden Nuggets, are you on Twitter? Hit me up. Let me talk to them. I can get you a code or something like that. But yeah, we can do that, man. With all the surgeries you've been going through and the hell, for those that don't know, Golden Nuggets been dealing with the C word for a long time, and he's been in and out of surgeries for the last few years. It's been awful. So we can 100% get that set up. Eric or Jess or somebody remind me to look into that. Let's see if we can get his information, and I'll talk to the guys about getting one sent over. Dougie B says, bear down. Dougie B in the house. What's up, brother? Let's see here. Stop buying burgers 199. What is this? Jesus Christ. You guys are something. You guys are something. You're something. I don't know what, but you're something. Eddie says political theater. Nothing will be done to anyone. JDT says, anyone watch the Tyler, is it Oliveira? Is that how you say it? Oliveira reporting interesting stuff. I've seen a few of his videos. He gets a ton of views and all of that, but I don't watch the guy that much. Chris says it was Bills +1. Let me see. Bill Herb says Jeremy of Geeks and Gamers only knows Ryan casually as an acquaintance, and Beardo was invited to his wedding as a +1. Sith Lord says Bill gonna throw her under the bus. A bet on it, dude. That would be amazing. TJ says, did you say turnaround? What is a turnaround? Darth Fiend says, being from PA, I have a fun fact. Senator Fetterman was an extra in Christian Bale's The Pale Blue Eye, Hail the 199, and The Snake Pit. You know, I saw this movie I saw it on Netflix. It looks very good. I do want to watch it. It looks very good. I'm a huge Christian Bale fan, and I really want to watch it. Has anybody seen this? Because I really want to watch it. So let me know what you think if you've seen it. Christian Bale's my favorite actor. It's really slow. I don't mind slow movies as long as it, especially with something like this. as long as the setting is authentic and it brings you into that world, I really don't mind slow movies like that. I'm not like, I really appreciate those more than most probably. It's pretty good, says Nandy. It's worth the watch. All right. Yes, it's fucking great. Okay, cool. I'll be checking this out soon, man. I might watch it tonight. Thank you for the recommendations. Appreciate that. Hayden Wayne 450 says, can't wait for the meetup with a bunch of the Snake Pit next month. Hail the Snake Pit. Hail the 199. I can't wait either. So again, if you are interested, MegaCon, it's right around the corner. And, we're still working out the details on the panel. There's a lot of red tape this year. That's all I'll say. There's a lot of red tape with what's going on and what has to be agreed to. It's not like it's been the last few years. So that's why the process is just so slow this year, is that there is a lot of red tape. And but the meetup's going to be awesome. I can't wait. So Taker says, did Jesse Waters say Epstein had manuals on trafficking? Did he publish the sex trafficking for dummies? Pritzker can only walk for office. He certainly can't run. Dougie B says, I'm a super chat bot. Let's freaking go. Bill Herb says, the whole Paramount getting WB has everyone on the left basically crying. They're going to do what we've been doing for years. Yes. And that's what's so funny. And again, you will see some of the most prominent voices in our space say, we don't want it to be right-wing stuff. We just want it to be good. We just want people to tell good stories and have good characters and have, interesting plot. We don't want politics in it. But if we're going to have to be forced to watch something with political agendas, you know what, then give me right-wing stuff over this left-wing garbage that you guys have been pushing. So yeah, if I'm forced to have to watch something that's based around Christianity, if I have to watch something that's based on a man and a woman in a house together, in a relationship together, if I have to watch something that's based off of a patriotic, movie about the military, oh, wow, these things sound awesome. Sign me up all day long. Yeah, let's do that. Good Lord, man. Right here now. I love this shit right here, right? Like, you have to ask yourself, how does this happen? All right. Piers Morgan, quote, I don't understand how any black person is continuing to vote Democrat when this is how they relate to us. The panel is full of black people and Gary. It's full of black people and Gary.
It seemed to me that whichever way you look at it, what news?
Gary knows that we're going to roast him for this. Gary knows this. He's sitting there going, these idiots are going to make fun of me.
Said, and let's take another look at what he said, was just so belittling and patronizing to his predominantly black audience. Let's take a listen again.
I'm not trying to impress you. I'm just trying to impress upon you. I'm like you. I'm no better than you. I'm a 960 SAT guy. and I'm not trying to offend anyone, trying to act all there if you got 940. But literally a 960 SAT guy. I cannot, you've never seen me read a speech. Because I cannot read a speech.
Oh. Now, Javier, what did you make of that?
So much to unpack there. This is yet
David said, I hope Gary doesn't get a Tourette's tick.
Another example of Democrats completely just degrading and dehumanizing and belittling Black people in order to try to relate to us. But before we even unpack the racial side of it, I just want to acknowledge the fact that Gavin Newsom is bragging about the fact that he can't read. But last year, in 2025, he signed 794 bills into effect in California, which totaled to almost 10,000 pages. So that means that he is not reading through the terrible legislation that he's putting into our state. And that's probably why our entire state is in shambles. So then you go to the racial element of this. He's talking to a group of mostly Black people talking about how they cannot read. It's like, okay, well then let's look at the literacy rates over in California at these schools. Almost 70% of Black students in California are aggressively below literacy standards, and that's largely because of these horrible Democrat policies in our education system. So instead of bragging about the fact that he can't read and try
There's a comment here that's so good. Even the gay Blacks are upset.
trying to brag about the fact that he believes that Black people can't read, he should be taking accountability for how failed our system is here. And then Black people, I don't understand how any Black person is continuing to vote Democrat when this is how they try to relate to us. Kamala Harris had an alcoholic come twerk in order to try to win our votes over. You have Hillary Clinton pulling hot sauce out of bags. It's like they're constantly playing into stereotypes and playing into the lowest common denominator. And for some reason, Black people have not woken up to that yet.
Gary being on this panel. I haven't watched the whole thing, but when I saw that, I'm like, Gary and a bunch of Black people talking about Gavin Newsom. You can't make it up. Oh, that's beautiful. I will watch the whole thing, though. I'm looking forward to seeing it. So it's absolutely great. Oh, man. I did see Matt Walsh uploaded a video. Says anyone who presented the evidence gathered against Erica Kirk to a grand jury would be laughed out of the courtroom, and that what Candace and others are doing is morally wrong. Let's hear what Matt Walsh has to say.
So the innuendos about Erica may be compelling fodder for YouTube videos. They would not be compelling to a grand jury or a prosecutor or a judge. If you took everything that's been said about Erica or implied and tried to present it as evidence in a court of law, you would be laughed out of the room. There's no case here. There's no evidence of anything. Now, these attacks on Erica by Candace and by everyone else engaged in this campaign are wrong, deeply, desperately wrong. Wrong morally and factually. They are wrong morally because they are wrong factually. The whole crux of the matter here is not just that Erica is a grieving widow, but that she is innocent of the accusations that are being made or implied against her. So the innuendos about Erica may be.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really, I guess I probably have made the argument a long time ago, but the more that I've evolved into the internet side of things, I've seen people use the argument of things being morally wrong. And I'm just like, what is your definition of morally wrong again? Because it seems like everybody has a different definition of what's morally wrong anymore. So it's just like, what do you mean is morally wrong? Like, I don't really know what that means from his perspective, but if I am, again, I've said many times, not really a fan of Candace or Erica. But if I'm forced to choose, all right, if I'm forced to choose, I would probably pick Erica Kirk over Candace in this whole back and forth as to who I think is more genuine. I think I would side with Erica more for sure. But I'm not like blindly just convinced that she's this greatest human being ever. Yeti Master Yoda says, yes, she's hotter. Well, I wasn't going with that angle, but yes, that is true. But it's more so just, I don't think that Candace is genuine. I just don't. But I think she knows exactly what she's doing. The whole thing is a shit show that I can't sit here and go, plant the flag as to say, I 100% stand with Erica Kirk because she is a perfect human and she's wonderful. I think she's doing exactly what, under the horrific circumstances that has happened, I do believe that she's doing exactly what Charlie would have wanted her to do based on my limited knowledge of whatever that is. And that's what 99.9% of everybody's, standpoint is we don't really know. But if you're just looking at, like, in this horrific situation that has happened to Charlie Kirk, a situation that nobody could predict or understand, and no one can understand what it's like to be in Erica Kirk's position either. None of us know what this is like. It's awful. But with my limited knowledge, just like everybody else, I think it's easy to say what she's done is more than likely exactly what Charlie would have wanted up to this point. So, but we'll see. But it's not going away, because the more people like Ben Shapiro and Matt Walsh and Jeremy Boring and other prominent people on the right respond to Candace, the more Candace wins. And they don't realize that. This was your person. This was your, hey guys, look, we have a black woman we hired with the Daily Wire. Look, we're not racist. We have a black woman. We have a black woman on our team. We're not racist. Yeah, and now suddenly they're like, oh, you shouldn't listen to Candace. Well, didn't you pay her millions of fucking dollars? Didn't you pay her? Didn't you promote her and elevate her and tell everyone how great she was? And now suddenly you guys want to tell the same people that you promoted her to that they shouldn't watch her? How about let people watch whoever the fuck they want? Simple as that. Is this a rerun from last night? Yes. Narco. Let's see. Jeremy's not racist. He has black panel members on G&G. Exactly. I'm totally not racist. Plus, I'm black from the waist down, so I can't be racist anyway. And I have an N-word pass. I just don't use it often online, but I do in traffic. Okay. Next up, let's see where we are. Bird Up says Krista Stewart sounds like that 7-minute abs guy. Oh, from There's Something About Mary. There's Something About Mary does not get mentioned in the greatest comedies of all time, and it should. 7-minute abs. So good. Love it. Grandis of Potato says, daytime burger tax, whatever that means. Heavy D says that Krista Stewart, drugs are bad, real people. Okay. All this horror business is Stewart is such a waste of an ultra hot body. Stop buying burgers 199. Toddy says, if Paramount gets rid of gun, I'll be cheering. So will I. Delona says, buy a daytime burger tax. Chad says the school fight was the worst scene in Cobra Kai. That's my thoughts anyway. I agree with you completely. That school fight. Well, hold on. No. The school fight was not the worst. The fight was at season. Let's see. There was a fight in a house that was worse than the school fight, in my opinion. Was that season 3 finale? I think the fight in the house was worse than the fight in the school, in my opinion. That was terrible. Fight in the house was the worst. The school fight was the next worst, but the fight in the house was the worst. It was terrible. I think that was the season 3 finale, I think. Grandis Potato says Cobra fans. Delona says Jeremy doesn't need a beauty filter. He's got natural beauty. That's nice. And gay. Vault 199 says commies say all entertainment is for propaganda. Heavy D says that Jeremy hopped to a prime $2 OnlyFans tax. Bill Herb says cobweb snatch tax. Delona says bot tax. Marmilla says, to be fair, compared to most famous black folk, Gary has lived closer to the black life in America than most on the panel, similar to Trump being our first black president. Holy shit. Woo! Ministry of Wrong Things says Jonathan Majors is working with the Daily Wire. I saw that. That's a weird one. But yeah, Jonathan Majors is working with the Daily Wire, which is incredibly weird. So, not sure what to do with that one. That seems like a strange decision. Maximus America says that Gary went to jail. He's just like. Damn it. That one got me. I was not prepared for that one. That was good. Holy shit. BMCCB says a bite of Culver's burger for the working man. Hell yeah. Granite some Potato says fire Beardo, now Gary. Or first Beardo, now Gary. How many people associate with G&G are black? Narco says Gary is a felon, so he fits right in. See? The jokes just write themselves at this point, dude. Zachary says, I respectfully disagree on how to address Candace Owens. I believe mocking her is more effective than calling her out by morals. I don't think she's invincible. You're not all wrong, though. Yeah, and I'm not going to sit here and say that I have all the right answers either. But ultimately, Candace is who she is because the right-wing virtue signaled with her. And now they are in a very, very difficult position because they don't know how to basically get rid of the monster that they created. And I mean, today having 200,000 plus people watching her is crazy. Now, I think that the best thing you can do is to let someone like that punch themselves out, because she's not like, the well will end up dry. It's at some point. She's a one-trick pony on this topic. It's the most traction she's ever got. Eventually, it will run out. And so I just think you let her, support if they now. I mean, so if I'm in the position, if I'm say like Daily Wire, or if I'm part of Turning Point or PragerU or whoever all these right-wing places are, I say, like, let's just continue to work together and, not really get into any of this. But I don't think that's going to happen on the right, because they are all cutthroat. And this is why I don't want to be part of their fucking crew. I don't want to be involved in that shit. Like, they were like, brought up, they were wanting me to do a fucking interview with like Jeremy Boring for the Pendragon cycle, and I'm like, I don't want to do an interview with Jeremy Boring. I would have a off the record conversation with Jeremy Boring, but I don't want to do a fucking interview with Jeremy Boring. Give a shit about that. It's not my interest. And it's all because he wanted to promote Pendragon cycle. No, I don't want to have him on my channel. I don't give a shit about that. But I would like to talk to him and be like, hey, what do you, I want to know what you guys are, how, like, off the record, I would like to ask him, what exactly is your approach? I want to know what you're doing, because when I talk about Daily Wire, I have a very surface level idea based on what the public perception of you is. What is your approach? Yada, yada, yada. But I'm not interested in doing interviews and all that shit. The last interview that I did that I remember is the Daily Wire actually set it up, was when they got me to talk to Adam Carolla, which was a fine interview. It was awkward at first. Adam Carolla had no idea who I was. All he knows is he was coming on to talk to geeks and gamers. And he was like, when the call started, he joins in and he's like, what the fuck am I doing here? And I'm like, well, I don't know. I have no idea why they called me, but I told him who I was, and I'm a Trump supporter, and I talk about culture. He goes, "Oh, okay, that makes a lot more sense. I just figured you just played video games and you were talking to me." I was like, "No, not really." Now I guess he pictured me as like a Minecraft YouTuber or some shit like that. Heavy D says, Governor Newsom, I'm somewhat of a black man myself. Lord Botha says, Gary's the only one here who's been to jail. Wild. Blast Radio says, leftists crying about Paramount deal and yelling about right-wing this and that are hypocrites because they had control of mainstream media since Obama. Correct. Bill Herb says, is it me or has YouTube super chats become far worse in how they are censored now? Yeah, probably so. And again, that's why I don't think it doesn't help when people are constantly looking for workarounds on it. And again, I'm not justifying the censorship. It is what it is, though. Like, I wish you could say whatever you wanted, but the reality of it is they're going to do that. And then when people find workarounds, then they're going to censor that. And then what ends up happening is you're just going to get every fucking thing is getting censored, even if it's not supposed to be censored, because censorship is wrong. And I agree with that. But this is the number one platform that we all have to use. So their rules. Grindo Drum says that Gary, not only a gamer, but also a race enthusiast. Workaround is better than a turnaround. I don't know about that. Blast Radio says, gruesome Newsom to black Democrat audience. You never seen me read, guys. I'm just like you. Taker says, YouTube asked me for feedback on the quote, I didn't know it was gay Tuesday Night's Main clip. So of course, I said it was life-changing. Chad Late says, Candace seems to be a woman with a fatal attraction right now. Correct. Lydia Mex Game says, Jeremy is not racist from the waist down. Hail to the grifter in chief. Hail to the snake pit. Darth Manic says, ordered a hoodie yesterday. I'm sure I'll get it in this decade, unlike my t-shirt. Thanks, Teespring. Teespring sucks. Zachary says, also the Daily Wire hiring Jonathan Majors. Did they learn nothing from hiring Candace Owens? Such a stupid decision, in my opinion. I think it's a horrible decision. I think it's going to backfire on them big time. But he'll play nice for a little while, but as soon as Hollywood comes calling, he will run right back to them. And ultimately, you know, that's what Daily Wire wants. Daily Wire they want to be in Hollywood. They want to be part of Hollywood. That's what they want. So they're probably loving it. Hang on. What is this? Just in, journalist Bill Levine says Bill Clinton will be vulnerable when pressed about his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. Okay.
There's going to be a lot of heat on Bill. And there's so much.
If you're just tuning in, so Bill Clinton is set to be deposed tomorrow over his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. So that's what this is in reference to.
There's going to be a lot of heat on Bill. And there's so much that they can pick apart in terms of that period of time from 2002 to 2003. When he traveled with Jeffrey Epstein to 4 different countries, twice to Africa, also to Europe and Asia. They spent a lot of time together. There was 16 to 27 flight legs that Bill Clinton was on these flights. So they had a lot of time to talk about a lot of things.
So tomorrow, Bill has to testify. He's pretty slippery when he does depositions. Do you think he's vulnerable?
Oh, I do. I mean, I reported in my book from the most vocal accuser of Virginia Giuffre that she said she met Bill Clinton more than once. She also said that Jeffrey Epstein told her, Bill owes me a lot of favors. And what's also interesting is we know that in 2002, Bill was at Jeffrey Epstein's New York home. He said he was there with Secret Service. However, Virginia has said in depositions and in interviews that she believes that Bill Clinton saw photographs in Jeffrey Epstein's home. He had a lot of photographs of minors, some of them nude pictures. So unless these pictures were being thrown in drawers and so forth in advance of his visit, you have to wonder exactly what he saw and what he was wondering he was getting himself into on these the travel that he did.
This was before the conviction. This was in the Upper East Side apartment.
Yes.
And all
This is the same thing as like the Harvey Weinstein stuff with, Hollywood, where Of course, all of these people that were surrounding Harvey Weinstein knew, but because Harvey Weinstein was very, very powerful and influential, and Hollywood's just a dirty, horrible place anyway, that none of them had a problem with it until it became prominent. And now they want to pretend like they are fake offended over, oh, had no idea. I'm so shocked by all of this. This is crazy. That's where we are now.
Also on the Lolita Express.
Yes.
Is there any evidence that he socialized with Epstein after the conviction? Is there any evidence that he went to the island?
There's no evidence he went to the island. Virginia has said in her own book, which reiterated the material that I had in my book and in depositions and interviews, that she was at a particular dinner where she remembers sitting there with Bill Clinton. And she said there were also two brunette women. She didn't specify their ages, but he was certainly surrounded potentially by victims. And of course, they're going to question him tomorrow on those photos. The DOJ has said that they only redacted images of victims and minors. So you wonder about the two photos that have two redactions of individuals in terms of the hot tub and the photo of him in the pool with Ghislaine Maxwell. Were they victims? Were they minors? We don't know at this point. He will certainly be asked about that.
Will be interesting, and what'll be more interesting is when the video releases of it, whenever that is. But I'm not going to put any expectations on that. It could take weeks, it could take months. I really don't know. So we shall see. So right here, just for people, this is Deadline. Jonathan Majors is shooting his first movie in 4 years as cameras roll this week in South Carolina for an untitled action film from the Daily Wire. Jonathan Majors, after being fired from Marvel over, I didn't follow the case too closely with Jonathan Majors. He was accused of a lot of stuff from a girlfriend or an ex-girlfriend or something. I don't know. They were building, the MCU was pretty much being built all around him. And then suddenly Marvel just showed how much they don't like black people, and they fired him. Man, his girlfriend, is that what it was? Yeah, I did not follow it. Domestic violence. Yeah, I just remembered that story was. So anyway, the point being is that Daily Wire, I don't think this is going to be a good decision for them. However, he was set to be a pretty big name in Hollywood, and now they have taken advantage. I think that he will play ball with them until he potentially can get back into the good graces of Hollywood, and then he will jump ship. He will jump ship quickly. Let's see. What is this right here? Oh, look at this. Look at this. That's right. Somehow breaking Guthrie has returned. Previously unseen Ring camera video shows vehicles on back road route near Nancy Guthrie's home on the morning of her suspected abduction. Somehow breaking Guthrie has returned. Oh man. So, which essentially means nothing. Nothing at all. This is like, this is crazy, man, that we're still here. We're still talking about this.
Guthrie investigation, 26 days in we are, and the main crime scene in Tucson is now being turned back over to the Guthrie family. CBS News correspondent Jonathan Vigliotti now on a new theory in what remains, for now anyway, a baffling abduction.
Authorities have returned Nancy Guthrie's home to her family.
Yeah, I mean, I agree, Can Man. He says I don't believe or care about any of this anymore. That's why I haven't been talking about it much, because I just don't care. No disrespect to this woman that I believe is probably no longer with us, but I just don't care.
A month after she was kidnapped.
What does that mean right now in the stage of this investigation?
Investigators believe they've obtained all the evidence they're going to be able to obtain from that crime scene.
It comes as a source says the FBI is moving its command post from Tucson to its headquarters in Phoenix as part of what's being called a long-term plan. And authorities are not ruling out more than one accomplice.
If it's an organized group with multiple people involved, you're looking at a level of higher sophistications that helped prevent them from leaving a signature,
including on surveillance.
I kind of feel like this is going to be like No Man's Sky. If you guys know that video game. So No Man's Sky released to a ton of hype. Okay? Tons of hype around No Man's Sky. Oh man, everybody was excited for No Man's Sky. But it was not a complete game. And it was a pretty shitty release. And basically everyone abandoned it. And then once the game got really good, oh, it's fantastic now. And you probably have, I mean, I know a lot of people, I know the numbers have gone up and up and up, but like it's nowhere near what the peak would have been if you would have launched correctly. So my point being is that Nancy Guthrie case was huge for like a week. Everybody was invested. Oh yeah. It's going to be like a year from now. And by the time there's some actual movement on this case, most people are going to be moved on and they are not going to care. They're just going to be like, whatever. Similar to Cyberpunk. Yeah, I remember the launch of Cyberpunk. Mine wasn't broken at all, really. Like, I didn't have any major issues with Cyberpunk when it released. Everybody else did. I was playing on PS5, I believe, right? Yeah, PS5. But the Cyberpunk release was just a disaster. And the hype for Cyberpunk was far bigger than even No Man's Sky for sure. But anyway, let's continue.
A Wi-Fi jamming device could have been used.
Wi-Fi jammers, which are illegal in the United States, but definitely disrupt surveillance images, alarms, maybe even cell phone connections on Wi-Fi backups.
The Pima County Sheriff says DNA taken from Guthrie's residence and described by sources as low level is still being analyzed at this lab in Florida.
Someone out there knows something.
Nearly 24,000 tips have poured in.
Do you not remember the video of her saying, "We received your letter and we understand"? Like, do you remember that video of her and her family saying, we received your letter and we understand and we're willing to pay? Whatever happened to that? What letter did you receive? What are we talking about here? None of this makes sense.
Into the FBI, more than 1,500 alone since the family announced $1 million reward on Tuesday.
If this is an organization, people talk. It's that type of individual they're targeting with this $1 million reward now. Now this is life-changing money.
And sources tell CBS News there has been friction between agencies here on the ground over the sharing of information. This as the FBI continues to call on the public for help. Anyone with information is asked to call that number on the screen, Tony.
So there you have it. I'm just not interested in this story, but I've covered it so much that I felt it was necessary to at least inform everybody that, that's the update. So that's where we are. So time will tell if anything else comes from this, which I don't think. I think we'll probably find something out at some point in time, but we'll see. On that Paramount deal, so Paramount won the bidding war for Warner Brothers after Netflix withdrew, saying the deal is no longer financially attractive. Paramount will now own the following. If this happens, by the way, we just have to understand if this happens. And again, Trump wants Paramount to have this. Paramount, if they get this deal, will own the following: HBO, HBO Max, CNN, CBS, DC Studios, Cartoon Network, Adult Swim, Paramount Plus, Nickelodeon, MTV, Showtime, TNT, Comedy Central, TMC, Harry Potter, DC Comics, Game of Thrones, Lord of the Rings, Transformers. I mean, you just see it, man. So we'll see. We'll see what happens if this all goes through. And it's nothing is official or anything like that. So just understand, like, this is hypothetically, if everything goes through, they will have control over all of this. So it could shift culture, like, completely. I mean, culture has already shifted enough under the Trump administration, but like, this could shift everything. And I will repeat what I already showed, that this tweet right here it speaks volumes. I don't know who this person is. I don't know if they're trolling. I don't know what their opinions are. I don't really care. But this tweet has a ton of traction. It's genuinely just completely over. The far right will own all of the media space and use it explicitly for their propaganda for the next century. I was already convinced. You don't have to sell me, okay? You don't have to sell me. So yeah. Shift to what? Starfleet Academy? Yeah, I know. Are you kidding me? Yeah, this comment right here puts it into like so much perspective about how these people view the world, and I love it. The far right. I already broke down what it means, but it is what it is. What the hell is this right here? Hang on. Is this current? This isn't current, is it? This is old, right? Roseanne Barr destroyed the "what is a woman" question in typical raw unfiltered nonsense. What is this? Is this old?
What is a woman?
A woman is me. A woman is somebody whose breasts hang down to her stomach and who has a prolapsed uterus from giving birth to 5 ungrateful little bastards who have never had to work for a thing in their goddamn life. That's what a woman
is. Yeah, this is old. I've heard it. It's so good. Oh, that's a perfect answer right there. Freaking Roseanne. That's amazing. Woo! You love to see it. JDT says, I watch CobraCast. I'm just like you. Oh, that's nice. Storm Shadow says, saw Jeremy's beauty filter photos on Reddit. He's taking it too far for super chats. Yikes. Beardo and Miki want a private meetup. Well, I saw something over here on Lord. Now, look, I'm not particularly proud of this. I didn't really want this photo to get out, but it did. And what has my recommendation been? If you're caught doing something on the internet, you just need to lean into it. Well, I'm not hiding from the truth. I don't remember showing my Mossad paycheck. I don't remember this, but apparently it happened. So what are you going to do? What are you going to do? I still do need super chats. I don't want you to think because I have a $7,000 check in my hand that I don't need super chats. I definitely need them. And if I'm going to be busted, I am at least I'm going to lean into the meme. Just because I have a lot of money, it doesn't mean I don't need more money. Okay. So just understand. All right. These are the rules. Okay. So I just wanted to go ahead and address it. So there you have it. Okay. All hell, the Yahoo 199 says laughing man. Dude, I saw somebody. God, let me see if I can find it. Somebody on my CobraCast earlier. Not today. It was, I think, yesterday's CobraCast. They were so mad at me for, like, I don't know, something I said. And they said, everybody that super chats me needs to be investigated. I was like, what? Hang on. Let's see here. Let me go to my comment section. Let's see. Here we go. So right here, he says, the bottom comment right there, he says, We need to put together a psychological profile of people who actually send money to Jeremy. Truly disturbed people. And I was like, I'm going to use that. I'm going to use that to get more money now. Jeremy is pro-Israel, pretends to be neutral, but ends up sounding like Tim Pool fence sitting. Of course, he's not paid. If you're already shilling for free, why pay? Let's see here. Good stuff. I love that people do this. Like, ultimately, I'm the one that needs a psychological profile on me, because why do I get on the internet every day and deal with this shit? I don't know, but yet here I am. Nipsler says, I'm not disturbed. I'm mental. Yeah, this is true. Disturbed attacks from Mad Frog. Heir to the Empire says, a few extra shekels Mossad tax. Your Barmy says, he's not wrong. Very disturbed. You know, I love the people that just lean right into it. That's the best way to do it. Coopster says, towards your kosher grill. Hayden Wayne, he's not exactly wrong. The culture and woke media has deeply disturbed me. Correct. I mean, dude, we're on the internet. Like, all of us. Anybody that spends as much time on the internet as us, there's something wrong with us. Like, and that's just, it is what it is. So, like, there is something wrong with all of us. Normal people don't spend this many hours a day on the fucking internet, scrolling Twitter and laughing at memes. All right? Normal people are living wonderful lives. We're on the internet just talking shit and sharing fucked up memes in the group chat. All right? So, no, we're not normal. That guy included. Yes, Hayden Wayne, the guy that said that people that super chat need to have a psychological profile, and you too, sir. All right. Let's see. I don't leave the house. I hear you on that. Mar Millen says to this person here, I hope you see this. You are a huge fig. No investigating needed. I'm disturbed as fuck. Grew up with the internet. It's a playground. Have fun or be crying, whiny biatch. Oh, this is the person on the comment that you're talking about. I got you. Justice says, I can appreciate reading more money even when you have money. I guess I have so much, I just give some to you. Hey, it's a good answer. That's a damn good answer, Justin. Well, I appreciate it, brother. Bird Up says, disturbed attacks. I'm not doing that. Not for $2. Not for $2. But I appreciate it. 3412 with a 149 super sticker. Thank you. Jesus Davila with a gifted membership. Taker says Jared Fogle gets out of jail in 2029. Yikes. You think Subway will give him his job back? Dude, I was watching an old NASCAR race, and they had Jared there because Subway was promoting the race, and I was like, bro, that's weird. That is weird. Yikes. The Rogue Mustang says, Breaking Guthrie's back from Mexico. Bungle Swanger says, why do they want us to care so much about Guthrie? I don't think that there's like anything inherently like going on there. I think it's just an interesting story on the premise, but people are kind of moved on from it now. Arclight says, I love Roseanne. Don't we all? Aaron Adams says, from what I heard, the Netflix CEO was at the White House with Trump today, and he came out unhappy. And if they tried to make a comeback, stock would go down hard. I didn't hear that story, but that's interesting. I'll have to check that out. Matt HDX has voted today in the Texas primary. Hail the 199. Hail to you, brother. Appreciate it. All right, next up. Let me go to my bookmarks. Maybe Candace can find Guthrie. I mean, we'll see. Oh, here's what I want. Okay. So like I said, all right. I want credit if this turns into something. Okay. I don't know. Maybe other people have said it. You guys can tell me if you've heard anybody predicting this before me. Maybe there's somebody out there. I don't know. I don't watch a lot of political commentators. I watch a few here and there, but I don't I try not to because I don't want to get anybody else's like opinion wrapped up in my own mind, and then I end up repeating shit. So I don't watch a lot, but the Stephen A stuff is taking off. Okay. My word, Stephen A. Smith just went on a heater. Now, Stephen A. was on with Gay Rubin, and he went down the list and ended the careers of every single potential 2028 Democratic candidate, says none of them have a chance. Okay. Well, let's see what Stephen A. has to say to Gay Rubin.
I don't believe any of them have a chance of winning. We can go down the list. Gavin Newsom. Here you are. And we saw what you just said, whether people believe it or not, or, you know, because you got folks on the left trying to defend them, fine. Crime, homelessness, affordability, environment, debt in California, please. You got to convince me. Oh, so you want us to let you run the country, but we see what's happening in California. Good luck with that. Kamala Harris, that's where you come from. You didn't even want to run for the governor's seat in California. You should have been able to win that one. You didn't want that. Okay, we saw what happened during the election. You had 107 days. Biden put you at a disadvantage. That's all true. But your interview on The View sealed your fate. When they asked you, is there anything that you would do differently than Biden? You're like, no, I can't think of anything. Nobody's letting that go. And back to Gavin Newsom. Everybody talked about, you need to move to the center to some degree. Look at it that way. What do you do 2 weeks later?
Jeremy, you've been right on this guy having a chance. I think he has a chance because the Democrats are so bad, not because I think he's good.
You're on TV talking about when it comes to transgenders, transitioning from male to female, even if they're children, you really have no problem with that, with them doing such a thing without parental consent. I've said this to numerous people who would listen. If my child is underage, you can't come to my child to tell my child to walk down the street to the store without my permission. How in God's name you think you can do something that serious without parental consent?
We used to not let them go to a PG-13.
Are you kidding me? That is just utterly ridiculous. That kind of soundbite is going to be held against them. So I think that those two right there, they hurt themselves immensely. And I don't think the Democrats wanted Kamala Harris. And I think that has a lot to do, you know, as you saw her write in her book, she didn't feel like she was completely supported. So how you going to suddenly get the support for 2028 if you could get in 2024? That ain't going to work. Pete Buttigieg, as I said on Real Time with Bill Maher, he doesn't move us.
Yeah.
Who? I don't recognize the name he just said.
And when they took over, Buttigieg, who has no clue, you know, he drives to work on his bicycle with his, in all fairness, with his husband on the back, which is a nice, loving relationship. But he didn't have a clue. This guy didn't have a clue. And he's actually a contender for president. Between him and Crockett, you can have that party.
Just doesn't move us. It's just that simple. All right. And then you have Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, AOC. I respect her. I respect her passion.
I'm sure you respect her passion, Stephen A. I'm sure you do. All right. I'm sure you respect her passion.
I respect what she tries to do for her constituency in the Bronx, New York. That clip of her in Munich was one of the most embarrassing videos we may have seen.
Would and should the U.S. actually commit U.S. troops to defend Taiwan if China were to move?
You know, I think that this is such a, you know, I think that this is a, this is, of course, a very longstanding policy of the United States. And I think what we are hoping for is that we want to make sure that we never get to that point. And we want to make sure that we are moving in all of our economic research and our global positions to avoid any such confrontation and for that question to even arise.
Listen, when
I just want to point out, Stephen A. said he respects AOC. Do you think he respects AOC? Or do you think he respects two particular assets of AOC? Just saying. Okay.
Mitch McConnell, the former Senate Majority Leader, froze. Ladies and gentlemen, we were wondering whether or not he had a stroke. We know he's old. We know there are health issues. That is a vibrant young lady. That is AOC.
Yeah.
Okay. That was not a health issue.
Vibrant young lady. He says, vibrant young lady. This is AOC. And she is having a conversation. She's speaking. And there's been a lot of people. How many Jeremys are on fucking screen at this point? What the fuck are we doing? And we're all, hang on, let's see if we that have been breaking down. All right, so we're all three of us are looking at her tits right now. Every Jeremy is looking right at her tits.
You were not prepared. You did not know what you were talking about, and the world saw it. Now, if they had walked up to you on center stage, if they had walked up to you while you walking the streets of the Bronx and just stuck a camera and a microphone in your face and you were caught off guard, that would be different. No, you flew across the world. You flew across the ocean to attend this conference.
To a conference
You understand?
specializing in that.
Specializing in that.
Yeah.
And that was your answer. You can't get around that, and the Republicans are going to have a field day playing that at every turn. Do I believe she has a shot to win the Senate seat over Chuck Schumer down the line? Yes. But her as a world figure, nah.
He is preparing to run. I'm telling you.
Ladies and gentlemen, keep in mind that the Epstein files were in existence and free to have been opened during the Biden administration. You were there for 4 years. How come you didn't open it as a Democratic Party then? What am I missing? I'm not saying I know. It's a legitimate question. Maybe I don't remember the answer. Maybe my extraordinary producers should be able to help me during the commercial break. But from my understanding, the same files that were open or being open now with the 220 pages of documents or whatever it is, with various emails, that could have been done when Biden was in office.
And I know he's not wrong, but what you have to understand is that Stephen A. will literally say whatever needs to be said in the moment. He doesn't actually believe any of this shit. All right? That's the problem. And that's why he's going to be effective, because he is going to get so many people that don't know how he operates. He's going to be able to convince a lot of people. When you have the terrible, terrible, terrible Democrat Party that he will be competing against, this is what he does. In isolation, the guy sounds like he knows what he's talking about.
Well, why didn't you do it? If it's so important now. What were the Democrats doing at that particular moment in time? See? This is the kind of stuff that smells. Because my attitude is just deducing how much they despise Trump is, if there was some real bona fide dirt on him, since you went after him with the 34 felony convictions, which essentially was deduced to him paying hush money to Stormy Daniels, a porn star, so she wouldn't reveal their happenings with one another leading up to the election in 2016. Okay? If you had something like that you were willing to parade him through the streets with, of course, if you had something on him about Epstein, you'd have let it go earlier to make sure he didn't become the 47th president. That's just my thinking from a logical perspective.
Hayden Wainford says, just keep in mind, the left had no idea what we were talking about when we were mentioning bananas and rice. They were trying to say we hate blacks and Asians because they are not informed. They don't pay attention. A lot of this stuff has less impact. No, 100%. And that's why Stephen A. is going to be very effective, because, he's been doing it for decades. He's been doing it for decades at ESPN. People that now, I know ESPN's ratings have fallen off big time, but Stephen A used to every single day talk about shit he had no idea what was going on ESPN. Like he would talk about, I remember, I wish I could find the clip. I've looked for the clip and I cannot find it, but I know that this happened back during the height of Tebow mania. When Tim Tebow was with the Denver Broncos and he was winning every week in the last second, and Skip Bayless was super pro Tebow. So then Stephen A was like anti Tebow. He can't play, whatever. I remember Stephen A making fun of Tim Tebow because he was saving himself for marriage. So I remember him making a comment, something to the effect of Tim Tebow would be able to throw the football better if he actually got laid. He didn't say those words directly, but that's what he was implying. And I can't find the clip of it. It was on First Take. And that was kind of the norm during the height of the Tebow era anyway. The media was always making fun of Tim Tebow for saving himself for marriage. They always made fun of, him, his Christianity, all of that. So they always looked down on him for that. And I remember now to this day, Stephen A will claim Tim Tebow and him are friends, which I guess they are. Tim Tebow's not a guy that's going to hold any grudges. And Stephen A will flip-flop to whatever he needs to flip-flop into. It's just this guy is going to be a player if he chooses to get involved in the Democratic side, 1,000%. And those people that don't follow things and are like, he was just talking to about this right here about Trump.
I absolutely would have stood up. And here's the thing. Elizabeth Warren stood up when he talked about, insider trading issues within the United States government with elected officials and how that had needed to be eradicated. She stood up to support that. Why wouldn't you stand up to support what he said? And you have to anticipate. He's playing them like a fiddle. Yeah. He knows they're not going to stand up. He knows how bad it's going to make them look. I would have called this bluff. And I would have stood up and I would have said, you're damn right. Because the bottom line is, you got to remember, he's the key words that came out of his mouth. He said American citizens. So there are plenty of people who are American citizens who are of the same ethnic consent, consent as the immigrants and migrants are. You have people who are Hispanics. You have people who wherever they're from. It could be Venezuela, it could be Guatemala, it could be Mexico, it could be anywhere. You understand? Who are American citizens. So when he said American citizens and American citizens first of all, that's the right thing because it should be American citizens first, number one. And number two, for people on the left, some of them, not most, not all, but some of them coming out and saying that what he said was racist. Well, how? How exactly? Because you're looking out for America, and we got to be.
Again, I played the clip earlier of Stephen A. on First Take, surrounded by all of his leftist, panelists, and he said, Trump is coming. Trump is, I don't know, Hailstorm, if you're able to, not right now, but that clip of Stephen A saying Trump is coming, you need to intertwine that into the Trump I'm going to come meme. But him saying that and then him saying in his own mind, this is what Stephen A is saying about Trump. In his own mind, he thinks they tried to arrest him. That's what Stephen A said. And you got to listen to how he uses these words based on the setting that he's in. Now, right now, he's talking to Gay Rubin, who is a fake Trump supporter. And so he's talking to Gay Rubin in a whole different way than he's going to be talking to someone that's on ESPN.
Mindful of what we mean when we say that. When people are coming into this country undocumented and they're crossing our borders illegally, it costs us money. You're using the emergency room as your own medical health care plan, jobs and stuff like that, and how it could potentially have a detrimental effect. And where I'm from, I believe when white folks catch a cold, black folks catch pneumonia. It's always worse for us. So anything that works to the detriment of our country is going to work doubly worse for the black community. And I look at it from that standpoint. How could you? So I'm looking at it and I'm saying, I can't vibe with that kind of thinking. Sure, you could stand up. Sure, you could sit up there and applaud his position on that. Or just stand up and don't applaud, just to let him know. I don't agree with you, but I agree with what you just said.
The reason he said that is because his whole thing is he is pandering to the Democratic side. So he knows what he's doing by saying that. He's building his black people are victims narrative because that's what he's going to build out of this. Bird Up for 20 says, getting Jeremy to do the that's the fucking song. Is that what you guys are talking about? I didn't know what it meant. And now I say it in that. And so that's what it is. Okay. Now I know, and knowing is half the battle. Marmelin says, today, Junior. Mudkip says, I'll be live streaming Resident Evil 9 in about an hour. I have no clue what I'm doing, but I probably won't screw it up as bad as Beardo fat. Thank you, Mudkips. Narco says, glass cutter tax. Narco says, Jeremy and AOC tits inception tax. That's a good one right there. Let me see. Over on Rumble, Ministry of Wrong Think says, Asman exposed Hillary lying in his clips. Hashtag Asman didn't kill himself. Ministry of Wrong Think says, Susan French fried rice was literally about to merge with WB. GTFO, the government owns the media. You half-witted cunt muffin. Gary didn't just go to jail. He literally went to jail for selling drugs. He absolutely earned his spot. Mod Eric says, just a reminder, the teacher is still going to jail, still in jail 600 plus days later, refusing to use they, them pronouns. Is that still happening? That's crazy. Yabe says, there's a guy called Hunter sending messages of going to jail and for several days. I think that's Hunter Biden, the cokehead. Nah, he sent a 20 earlier and said everything was good. So I don't know. Are we back? We're back. Pixel Shark says Paramount finally has Friday the 13th again. LFG, hail the 199. Well, it's not official from what I understand. Lydia Max Game says, have you ever seen 2016 Hillary's America? If not, check it out. It's an eye-opening look at the Democratic Party. Hail to the grifter in chief. I think I have seen that one. Sola Felix says Unsolved Mysteries did an episode about Vince Foster's self-deletion based Robert Stack implied it was the hazard of being around the Clintons. Let's see. Strudel says Michael Knowles said talking about Candace isn't helping TPUSA. I agree with the take, but he is the godfather of Candace's child. That is true. My chat froze, says real Donnie Danko. Almost there. Okay, so that's going to be it. I may have another video up for Geeks and Gamers here in a bit. We'll see if that happens. But D-Day Cobra 2 will have uploads over there. And again, if you have not, go over to Ripasend and get your CobraCast hoodie and your MegaCon 2026 t-shirt. Get them now before they're gone. All right? It's very important. You got to do it. You got to do it. But 2 streams a day, 4 hours, not bad. All right? Not bad. Tree Bear says, looks like Jeremy is winding down. I like how you guys try to predict when I'm going to end. It's fucking with me. All right. So now I've got to figure out, I'm going to have to end like in a different way now. You and Laughing Man have been calling me out on it. It's bullshit and I respect it. But if Kate is still here, we're going to end with Sabaton. You guys have a good night. We'll talk to all of you later. Bye, everyone.
Protector
Hi, everyone. I guess we're back. John freaking Murdoch drops a 50 and says to keep Jeremy streaming forever tax. So there we have it. So I guess we'll talk about a few more things because John freaking Murdoch says so. And I have no power here. I have no say-so around here. Super chats are the boss. So yeah. Oh no. Oh no. And you know what? You know what? We have a video to react to. I can't believe it. This is because of John. This is because of John. John freaking Murdoch. Ben Shapiro 4 hours ago has a video where he's wearing a pink shirt and he says, "Listen up, you whiny bitches." Okay, let's see what little Ben has to say here.
Well, folks, you may have seen this rumor that we here at Daily Wire are working with Jonathan Majors on a new movie. And that rumor is absolutely true. Yeah, I know. There are a lot of people on the left, on X, and they're very upset about this. They're very upset about this. There's lots of tweets. Okay, here's the deal, you whiny little bitches. We don't care because Jonathan Majors was canceled all the way back in 2023. We are ecstatic to bring him back. He's unbelievably talented. And if you're upset now, wait until you see this film. Your heads are going to explode. Like, actually maybe explode. It's pretty spectacular stuff that we're doing. That's what we do here at Daily Wire. We fight the fight. We need your help to continue to fight in the culture and to win and to do the thing no one else will do. So please come join us here at dailywireplus.com. Join the fun.
What a horrific response. Oh my goodness. What a terrible response. Let me show you how you should have done that, Ben.
Hey guys, Ben Shapiro here at the Daily Wire. And the news is broken that we have hired Jonathan Majors at the Daily Wire. And that rumor is 100% true. And a lot of people on the internet are very, very upset about that. And I just want to be very clear that we understand your concerns. Hollywood has been disrespectful to their fans. Hollywood has been very, very mean and dismissive of people's concerns. We understand your concerns. We do. And we respect your concerns. We think that we have a really good product here, a really good movie, and you're going to be very happy. But we do appreciate your feedback, and we do appreciate all of the support that you give the Daily Wire. We are looking to create more culture. We are looking to create more entertainment for all of you and fill that void that Hollywood has left. So please support us over there, and we will continue to listen to you. Thank you, guys.
There, that's how he should have responded. That's it. But instead, you're calling people names. This is what Hollywood does to people. Fucking hell, man. Not good. Not good at all. And he's wearing a pink Beardo shirt on top of that. And then we've got Lady Aaron D says, what are all these Jeremys looking at? I'm looking at it too now. Yeah. So now we got 4 of them. All right. There you have it. Jimmy Ray says, hey guys, I think the stream's ending soon. Jesus says overtime tax. Overtime tax. Jeremy trying to weave his winding down. 4 Jeremys is too much, says Laughing Man. Now, you know, if Laughing Man is upset. I seriously, though, I just saw that tweet from Little Ben Shapiro. And what a bad response. Not good at all. Let's see here. We've got another Stephen A. clip, though. J.D. Vance versus Marco Rubio from Stephen A. Smith.
Let me say this about Donald Trump. To me, I don't even get in his policies. Like, for example, 2028 election. I'm not ruling out the possibility that if I don't run, that I wouldn't vote for a guy like Marco Rubio. I respect Marco Rubio. This man is a former senator. He's the President's Secretary of State. He's the National Security Advisor. He's an adult.
This is exactly how he handles sports. I'm telling you, I've been watching this dude for so long. This is what he does. So whenever he would talk about Tom Brady, he's like, we have to respect Tom Brady. This is a 5-time Super Bowl champion whenever he's a 5-time. This is a former league NFL MVP. This is a 6-time Pro Bowler. This guy led the league in passing. This is what he fucking does. He just looks up these basic stats and these basic facts, and he applies them in a way to make you think he knows what he's fucking talking about. This is his game.
In the room, I look at J.D. Vance and I see somebody that aspires to be Trump-ish, engaging in populism as opposed to actually getting the work done. When Trump congratulated Marco Rubio on the job that he did Tuesday night, he barely wanted to stand up and acknowledge the cheers. He ain't got time for all of that. I can relate. I'm like that. He got time for all of that. Got a job to do. You understand?
I'm really glad you brought that up.
This fawning and this fawning over Trump by everybody. I mean, other than Marco Rubio, everybody that you see talking, it drives me crazy. It's little stuff like this, but it's a big thing. Every single person that speaks on behalf of Trump, the first words I just want to thank the great president that we have and the great leader. It's all of this fawning. It's like it's a requirement before you say hello. You're just looking at them and saying, who are you? Are you really about doing the job, or are you really about appeasing and pleasing him so you can keep your job? What the hell is going on? I don't have time for all of that. So what I'm saying to you is, when I look at a guy like Donald Trump, my issue with him, not respectful, doesn't have the proper decorum, the statesmanship that I'd like from the presidency, because I believe he provokes chaos.
Fuck off with this pussy ass bullshit. Nobody is buying this. Now, this is a bad move for him. And, well, again, if he's pandering to the Democratic Party, maybe not. Maybe not. So I have to keep aware that he's using the Republican conservative media to try and show himself as a level-headed person, but he's also pandering to the Democratic side. So I have to be aware of that. But yeah, fuck off, Stephen A. Smith.
Instead of galvanizing folks to come together. That's my belief about him. And it's very hard for me to say that because I had a good relationship with him before he was running for president. That's why you don't hear me calling him some of the names that some of these people on the left call him. I knew him before that. And I know a whole bunch of people from my community that knew Donald Trump before he ran for president. We never had an issue with that man. We didn't have an issue with that man at all. He runs for president now. And he seems to be addicted to the get back all the damn time. That's why I call his second term a vengeance tour, because everything is about the get back. Everything is about validating what he was proclaiming and what has happened to him. So at some point in time, you got to move forward. And in the
yeah, we're not moving forward as a country at all. Nothing positive has happened in Trump 2.0. Nothing has improved. Nothing. It's all about retribution. Get the fuck out of here, man.
Process of saying all of that, as a black man, I don't like the fact that you're trying to tell people what books we should have access.
Damn, hold on. Guys, I wish Gary would have been here to help me. I didn't know that this was a black man talking until just now. I have never been aware that Stephen A. Smith is a black man. I am so glad that Stephen A. Smith, for the first time in his career, has just said as a black man. I've never heard that before. This is the first time. You know what? We got to play the clip. We got to play it. We just do. All right. We have to. Here we go.
Yeah. She just died? Wow. I didn't know that. I just, you're telling me now for the first time.
I didn't know this. You're telling me for the first time, Stephen A. Smith. That's amazing. All right, here we go.
At some point in time, you got to move forward. And in the process of saying all of that, as a black man, I don't like the fact that you're trying to tell people what books we should have access to. I don't like the fact that you're trying to dictate to us what we should study, what we should learn, what we should know and want to know about our history. There are iniquities that took place in this country. It's happened to black people. It happened to gays and others in the LGBTQ community. It's happened to, you wouldn't go up to the Jewish community and try to tell them about what they should be studying about their own history and what they should know and what they should have access to.
Is Stephen A saying that Jews don't get any backlash, but it's only black people? Like what? Okay.
Stuff like that. I'm confused. Are you saying Trump is telling?
I'm saying when you have issues like the Smithsonian Museum issue and what have you, when you bring up stuff like that, I have a problem with it because I'm looking at an absence of sensitivity to stuff that doesn't concern you. In the end, you as a white man shouldn't be telling black people what we should be studying about our history or what we should have access to and stuff like that. These culture wars that are taken.
Excuse me, Stephen A. Smith, okay? I don't know if you're aware, okay? I don't know if you're aware of this, Stephen A. Smith, but maybe you need to be informed. But Trump doing okay.
Man, I love black men. I love them. I love them. I have gone through the roof with black men. Black men. I love black men. I love them.
Oh man, the longer clip is so much better. I gotta find it. Hang on. There's a longer clip of that one. He just says such stupid shit sometimes. What is this one? Hang on.
To see people, and I know it's risky to do that, but you have to do what you have to do. You know, I'm the president. I can't sit in the basement and say, let's wait this thing out. I'm not going to do that. And now I'm immune, they tell me. I'm immune. I could come down and start kissing everybody. I'll kiss every guy, man and woman, man and woman. Look at that guy, how handsome he is. I'll kiss him. Not with a lot of enjoyment, but that's okay.
He says, I'm immune from COVID. I'm immune from COVID. I'm immune.
Place. I'm uncomfortable with him with that stuff. And I don't view him as somebody that really, really prioritize appeasing the black community by showing us what you're bringing to the table for us. I think any benefits that may occur is a byproduct of him doing what he wants to do for his base of people as opposed to my community. And I have a problem with that.
Shut up, Stephen A. Smith. Graham Robbins says, Jeremy insulting his fellow Mossad operative tax. Narco says, sent you a message on X. Incoherent Name says, did this asshole just imply Trump doesn't work hard to get his job done? Yes. Jim P says, Stephen ass head, everyone thanks the president on both sides. Correct. James All Day says, the California AG is now investigating the Paramount WB merger. I'll have to look into that. Graham Robbins says, wait, Stephen A. is black since when? Who knew? Flag Ninja. So Stephen A. rent or own. And John freaking Murdoch says, hey, Jeremy, Mrs. ABF wants you to stop now. I have got my walking orders. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The reason that I had to return was because of John. And now he's the reason I can leave for $60. I'm sorry, that's $60, not even $50. That's a $60. Now Jeremy is wrapping up for real, says Laughing Man. Go to Ripasend, check out the merch, get your stuff pre-ordered. MegaCon is soon. Can't wait. Laughing Man will be there, and so many others. It's going to be great. You guys have a good night, and we will talk to all of you later. Bye, everyone.